Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to your Lunch and Learn Hour. I'm Paulette, and I'm a part of Brownstone Worldwide. We have so much to talk about today for today's Lunch and Learn. So I want you to hang tight, keep your earbuds close by, because we're going to be talking to Miss Kesa Johnson today, and she's going to be giving us some information that we need to know all about the travel industry and travel and what's happening in the industry and what she does. And I think it's important because more and more of us are beginning to travel. And I think as you are experiencing what we like to call living the brownstone lifestyle, it is important for you to hear directly from a professional that's in the industry about what is, what isn't, and how to enjoy yourself being safe while you're traveling, and also how to schedule everything the way that you're supposed to and use a professional who's good at what they do. All right, ladies, we are going to be bringing up to the stage, of course, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not just going to say ladies, your group Escapes founder and owner, Kesa Johnson. She's going to be talking to us about a lot of things dealing with travel and what we're going to be doing working with her. Let's bring her up. Hey, Kesa, how are you?
Hi, Paulette. I'm finding yourself.
I'm doing well. Glad to see you. So happy you could join us today.
No problem. Good to be here.
Thank you. All right, so listen, let's jump right into it. You are the owner of Your Group Escapes.
Yes.
You are a travel agency, or is there a different name for what your company does?
Well, I consider myself a consultant because people can book online and pick whatever they want. So
Mm-hmm.
the reason I say consultant is because you need someone that's going to talk to you and talk through what it is that you really want and what you desire. Because travel does not is not one size fit all.
Mm-hmm.
Just like you like different types of cereal versus
Right.
what type of car you like. So
Right.
travel is the same way. So I
Mm-hmm.
consider myself a travel consultant and everyone that works with us as well.
Awesome. Okay, so consultant as opposed to booking it online yourself. Ooh, I just want to dig down deep in this really, really quick. Okay, so you have people that are booking online.
Hmm.
And I can recall, so I'm going to take it back if you don't mind. Kisa, I want to
Okay.
take it back to when I was a little girl. And I can recall people that didn't look like me, looked like they had my travel agent is going to be booking an amazing cruise for our family. And we are going to go to XYZ, XYZ, XYZ. And I always thought, y'all must have a whole bunch of money because you all are always going on cruises and you do. And this is when I was a kid, right? And it seemed
Hmm.
like can I just say it? Can I be honest?
Hmm.
It seemed like all of the white people in my neighborhood was doing it. We weren't. So
Mm.
is that something that you have noticed over the years? And I was a kid, I was in high school. I didn't know any better. I didn't know if that was a legitimate thing or not. But have you noticed that we as a people are doing more travel than we used to?
Yes, it
Oh,
we are doing a lot more traveling than what we used to, and people are noticing it because there was a survey done a couple years ago that the
mhm.
African American dollar spent more than like two or three countries. So yeah, countries, the black dollar.
Wow.
So, and I'm from Detroit, Michigan. So
Hmm.
our population is very much African American centric,
Yeah.
and we've had a lot of travel suppliers or vendors that have never ever been to Detroit or tried to
Mm,
attract the black dollar that have
mm.
now taken notice because of the amount of money that is coming up in these surveys with the amount of money that we're spending now. Um, you know,
Wow.
why they say put your money where your mouth is. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
that's exactly what they're doing.
Wow. Okay. Okay. So this isn't something that I made up in my head. There
No,
is an absolute influx of more people of color who are traveling outside of the United States, especially.
correct,
So,
correct.
okay,
Yes,
okay,
yes,
okay.
yes,
And I'm excited
yes.
about it.
Oh
I'm
yes,
excited.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it's more so that people are starting to value more experiences versus things.
Mhm.
And,
Mm.
and what another thing what we notice is that a lot of people spend a lot of money on extravagant things that go out of
Mhm.
style and get
Mhm.
outdated
Mhm.
pretty quick. But
Mm.
we try to teach and consult with everyone is that you get what you pay for,
Ooh,
and you know
okay.
that Gucci or Louis that you bought could be out of
Mhm.
style in a month.
Right. Right.
But when you look back over those memories and that experience and your toes sinking in the sand, you remember
Mm.
that a lot longer than what that Gucci bag looked like last year that you threw in the back of your closet. I'm just saying.
Ooh, you calling people out, you snatching edges.
Mhm,
Wow. And I love to see on social media so many of us who are sharing those experiences,
mhm,
and um it just makes me want to do more travel. So let's begin at the beginning, if you don't mind.
okay.
How in the world did Kesa Johnson end up in the travel industry?
Ooh, okay. So now you're gonna have me date myself. Uh,
Okay.
so after I finished grad school in the late
Mhm.
90s, I went to travel
Mhm.
school. So yeah, like over 30 years ago. So
Wow.
and and it was like when I finished grad school, me and my girlfriend was like, "Oh, we got to celebrate," because I was so
Mhm.
young when I finished my grad degree. I was like,
Mhm.
"We're celebrating." I was like, "Let's go."
Okay.
So
Okay.
our first international trip was to Cancun, and back then we
Mhm.
didn't even need a passport. Okay, that's how long ago it was. No passport,
Crazy.
no weight requirements on the luggage. So
Just go.
yeah, just we just was like, okay, let's go.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
then from there it sparked the love of travel.
Mhm.
And then also my first full name is Wakisa. So
Yes.
my name is after Hawaii, and my dad went to Hawaii and said it was the most beautiful place he'd ever been or seen. So he
Wow.
named me after Waikiki. So that was,
Oh.
yeah, so that's why I was like, oh, okay, I got to get to Hawaii. I got to do, So, and it's so funny because me and my mom are going, like, I told my mom, I was like, I'm of a certain age and you've never been and you've named me after an island. So
Right.
so her and I are going in October for 2 weeks. So,
I love it. I love it. Wonderful. So you went after grad school. You said, I'm just going to start traveling, and you loved it so much. So you're not new to this.
no, I'm not new to this. It's
Okay.
just that I pulled back because
Mhm.
being in corporate America,
Yeah.
because I worked for General Motors for almost 30 years.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a balance. But I
Mhm.
just retired end of 2022. So
Yeah.
now I can fully dedicate myself back to what I really love and enjoy.
That is amazing. And so you were with General Motors. Y'all, she said she was with General Motors 30 years. They don't make them like you anymore, ma'am. So congratulations on your
Thank
retirement.
you. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay. That's
Mhm.
number one. And number two, you kept with the travel, so you're picking it back up, it's ramping back up. I'm really excited for you because I see some of the trips that you offer when I head over to your website, which is
Mhm.
yourgroupescapes.com, and you're offering some amazing trips. So let's just say, for instance, that I want to book a trip. I
Mhm.
don't want to fool with it. Now let me just be clear. Let's go back. I said I was going to do this. I can go to Travelocity,
Mhm.
I can go to Trivago, right?
Mhm.
I can go to all of the places. Can I ask this question? Why would I want to choose a consultant over doing it myself?
Sure. That's a great question, Paulette. Because a lot of times those pictures on those websites aren't
Mm-hmm.
always what they are. There
Yeah.
have been, and you can Google this on the internet, like sometimes people will book something thinking it's a beautiful picture. And when they
Mm-hmm.
get there, it's like in the middle of nowhere, or the pictures
Wow.
are not what they showed on the website. And then,
Really? Mm.
yeah, and then a lot of times those booking engines also get the run of the house. So you don't
Mhm.
always get the best rooms. It could be the ones by the elevators that's constantly
Mhm.
noisy, or and things of that nature, because they're the cheaper rooms. So you get what you pay for. But then
Yeah,
also when you're going on those international
got it.
trips, you may not always
Mhm.
know the requirements, the entry requirements, and you don't. And we all know that flights right now are not cheap. So you don't want to get there and realize you can't get into that country because you didn't meet the requirements. So yeah,
Requirement.
so certain countries have like visa requirements, tourist
Okay.
card
Okay. Okay.
information, and things of that nature.
Mhm.
And if you're just going,
Mhm.
just like, oh, okay, wait, yeah, I'm going,
Mhm.
I'm going to a certain country, and it requires something you don't know. Um,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
then there's things that we can give you information on, like what to pack. Like in the Caribbean, camouflage is technically is illegal, because only if you're not a member of the military, you're not supposed to wear camouflage. And those are some of the tidbits that your travel consultant can advise you on, with regards to the proper attire, to
Mhm.
wear in certain countries.
I had no idea. I had
Mhm.
no idea. So using a consultant to work and do the legwork for you is absolutely worth the cost. So when someone reaches out to you
Mhm.
and they say, Kisa, we really don't want to deal with this. I want to take my girlfriends and I on a 7 day girls trip to the Caribbean with, all inclusive everything. What is the first thing that you do outside of hearing what I have to say? What do you do? Do you begin by saying, okay, and is there a fee to work with you? That's the other question. So how does that work?
So there is a process, Paulette. Good question. So because everyone's travel style is different, there are what we call
Mm-hmm.
qualifying questions. We ask, like, what type of travel are you normally accustomed to? And
Mm-hmm.
people don't like to mention, like, what's your budget? But let's be
Mm-hmm.
real. I don't want to try to price you into a $600-700 night property
Mm-hmm.
or resort when you don't have that much money, but you still want
Right.
a quality and
Mm-hmm.
secure location to stay at.
Yeah.
So there's
Mm-hmm.
a couple factors, and then you also want to know what person experience is. Like, do they like a beach or do they prefer the pool? Because
Mm-hmm.
people have different variations of what they like.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, there is a fee to work with, a professional consultant, travel
Okay.
consultant, because there is a lot of time, that goes into that. And we are
Mm-hmm.
using, a lot of our trusted suppliers, and we're doing the background, research for you to make sure that,
Okay.
we have a list of people that we trust that's going to, help or handle a situation if something occurs.
Yeah.
Because the last thing you want to do is, get somewhere and
Mm-hmm.
your phone doesn't work, you have no one to
Mm-hmm.
reach out to, and you're
Mm-hmm.
panicking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So we're that liaison between, you and your trip.
Okay.
Um, yeah.
So when you say, okay, so let's say for instance, I have a hiccup in, say for instance, Cozumel,
Mhm.
and I'm really not sure what to do. Is that where the consultant comes in, or is your job done once the booking is complete and the trip has started?
No, our job is still no, we're still around. Um, and so, in preparation, we give you, we always stress to get travel protection and travel insurance,
Okay.
because if there's an emergency, it wouldn't
Mm-hmm.
be called an emergency. Things
That part.
happen.
Yeah.
So we always, always give my clients phone numbers to the travel insurance company. Here's the
Mm-hmm.
emergency. But yeah, and then I have my clients have my WhatsApp, because in a lot of countries, what people don't realize, you may have the greatest cell phone plan in the world, but in
Yeah.
certain countries, it may not work. And if you
Oh
forget to
my.
add that data plan, it's not going to
Mm.
work. So
Okay.
yeah, there's multiple ways that, I say, hey, reach out to us and get in touch with us. um but yeah, no, it doesn't, our service doesn't stop when you finish paying your trip in full, but and it really doesn't end when you return back, because we still build that relationship to keep in touch with you. Be like, hey,
Yeah.
how did things go?
Yeah.
And then just say, okay, it's been a year since your last, it's been 6 months. Okay, what are you trying to do next? What other
Hmm.
celebration you
Hmm.
have coming up? So we try to build relationships with our clients,
Yeah.
because, some travel is something that we want everyone to experience, as
Of
well
course.
as, with their family, with their friends,
Yeah. Hmm.
because travel is like a really great health benefit. Because I don't know about
Really?
you, Paulette, but I know when I come back from a trip, I'm just like, woosah. Like, you come back and you're so
Yeah.
refreshed.
That's true. That's true. I agree.
And as a female, you think about it. You're not cooking, you're not cleaning, you're not worried
Mm-mm.
about who you're taking
Nope.
where and what you got to
Nope.
do.
That's true. That is absolutely true. You are absolutely. I never thought about it like that. The last trip I went on, it was a 7-day cruise. Um, and you're right. I slept so hard the first couple of days. I didn't get
Mhm,
up. I didn't do anything.
mhm,
It was almost as if my body shut down the minute I got on the cruise. Like, I remember we were leaving and we were on the Lido deck and the music was pumping and I had a cocktail. I don't even remember what it was. And the next thing I know, I think it was like 2 days later. I'm so serious. So you're right about that. Absolutely.
mhm.
Absolutely. Curious. So, two things. One, how do you prepare someone who has never been on any kind of trip? That's one. And
Mhm.
number two, you don't just do cruises, do you?
No, 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 no. So, great question. So I first asked them, do they have a passport?
Okay.
Because if they, and depending on where they want to travel, because right now, as everyone knows, passports are taking weeks to get approved, or should we say
Mm,
months to get approved. And especially with my more seasoned people, that's up there in age, what I'm finding is this is their first time even getting a passport,
mm-hmm.
and their birth certificate or their birth records are not in order per se, and they're
Mm,
having a hard time, unfortunately, getting passports, because the information is just not matching. Um,
right.
so that's one thing. I prepared them and make sure they have, just keep reiterating to them like what documentation they need,
Mm-hmm.
prior to even booking that type of trip.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then once we get the trip booked, depending on what their likes and their wants are,
Okay.
um, then, I sort of handhold them and say, okay, now if it's a resort, which I
Yeah.
love all inclusive resorts,
Yeah. Yeah.
because people tend to like to drink and don't want to come out of any money anymore.
Right.
So
Okay.
I love booking all inclusive resorts besides just cruises,
Mm-hmm.
because yeah, you're not coming out of pocket unless you want to do something extra off the
Okay.
resort. And when people go into different destinations, I do encourage off the resort so you can experience where you are. And so I like to prepackage one activity inside of that to where they're paying ahead of time. So then
Okay.
that way, when they're getting there, it's not, oh, wait a minute, I got to come up with a couple $100 more to do some type of activity or
Right.
excursion.
I
Um,
see.
and which can be difficult when you're traveling with a lot of family members or friends,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
because let's face it, everyone's wallet is not the same.
No, it's
So
not.
at least if we can have at least one activity for everyone to do together,
Mm-hmm.
it
Mm-hmm.
makes things a lot easier to where, some people are not feeling like, I want to do this, but I don't have the money to do
Right.
that. Well, you don't have
Right.
to worry about that because it's already paid
Okay.
for in advance. So
I
that's
see. I
another
see.
way we help.
And I like how you put that. That's another question. I'm making a mental note to bring that up towards the end of our conversation. And so you not only just book cruises, you book other things as well. Like, is it flights? Do you deal with Airbnbs? I got questions.
Okay, well, I do not do Airbnbs,
Got it.
because they are not regulated, and each state is different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
um, I will book like villas in private estates, and it's by certain people, like management companies that I work
Got
with.
it.
that vet
Okay.
their property owners and they manage the
Hmm.
properties.
I see.
Because when my clients get there, I want to make sure they're
Hmm.
definitely getting what they want, and they're not
Of course.
having to have someone else walk in on them saying, "Oh, well, we got the other half of the property." No, that
Right.
no, we don't.
Right.
Sorry.
We don't do that.
Um,
Okay. 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 So let's talk about pain, money. So
mhm,
one of the reasons why I always thought like, you either had to be, rich or of a certain, you know, I guess cultural background, I'll put it that way, in order
okay.
to go on cruises was because all I could hear my family members say is you got to be this, or you got to have a whole lot of money to
Mm,
go on cruises and go on trips and XYZ. Now things are different. And we have a lot of people that have options. Now, I don't know how recent this is because every time that I paid for a cruise, I just paid cash and I was done. Right.
mhm.
Um, but there are payment options. There are different ways that you can pay for your cruises and your trips and all of that. Have
Yes.
you seen an increase in people taking vacations and trips because of that?
Yes.
And how does that look like? What does that look like for your personal bottom line? When, of course, we don't need to know the monetary amount, but I'm sure that you've seen an increase in what you're able to take home because of that.
Yes.
Hmm.
We love our payment options, and
Hmm.
some people call them layaway payments. Let's be
Mm,
real. Um, so that you put down a small amount,
okay.
and then you make monthly payments,
Okay.
and then that way you can balance your trip, which is your extracurricular activity, along with everything else that you have to have done throughout the month.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so yes, they're making payment option. They're making payments on their trips and they're
Okay.
booking more because they have that option.
Hmm.
And then if they book their trips out far enough, they're paying for if it's an all-inclusive resort, they're paying for the all-inclusive resort. And then later on, they can add the flight into that package when it's available
Nice.
and still make payment plans, to whereas they're not paying that five, six, seven, $800 at one shot,
Hmm.
on that trip. So,
Okay.
and some trip deposits could be low as $50, some can be low as $75, some can be as low as 125. It just
Got it.
depends on the level of that trip and
Mhm.
what all is involved.
I love that. I love to hear that. So we got options.
Hmm.
Um, we can pay up front, we can use payment options, we have layaway. I know that even airlines are offering that as well now. So there are so many different things. So ultimately, what I'm hearing you say is there is no excuse for you not to get your travel on. Is that right?
That is correct. That is correct. I,
Okay.
I mean, think about it. As much as you see like nail designs,
Yeah.
um, let's be real. You go to a nail salon, you not spending less than almost $100 on
Right.
pedicure and full set. And
Yep.
yeah, we all splurge, but
Hmm.
if
Hmm.
you think about it, if you cut back on a few of those nail designs, that can be a payment
Yeah.
on the trip.
You come on. She calling y'all out. I want y'all to know she's calling you out. Everybody. Yeah. But
Yeah.
it's the truth. You're absolutely right.
Hmm.
Yeah. To have those
Yeah.
long lasting experiences. And so do you help them? You also help book their excursions as well, right?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Here's one. Have you ever been invited or asked to attend one of the trips to support? And how does that work?
Yes. So, um, what we do is when we are supporting our clients on their trips,
Mhm.
we get there and we make sure that there's a welcome meet and greet, for
Mhm.
people, because a lot of times they're flying from all over and they haven't
Yeah.
seen each other in years, or they may or know some of the
Mhm.
people. So we have like a sort of like a mix and mingle per se.
Right.
And then we also do some type of activities as well.
Mhm. Mhm.
And just so, for instance, tomorrow I'm flying out with one of my groups that left out. That's leaving. Well, they left out yesterday. Well, today, and we're doing some fun. We're doing like scavenger hunt for them.
Okay.
So, and we put a little spin on it, so I can't tell you
Mm-hmm.
all of it unless you go on one with us. But it's
Oh
not your
man.
your 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 typical scavenger hunt,
Mm-hmm.
and you know, and when you deal with sometimes women, they be like, I don't want to play this, and I don't want to scavenger hunt. When they say that, I go to scavenger hunt, but when you see it, it's like I got to do what? Then after a couple of drinks, they're all in.
They're all in. I love it. I
They
love
all
it.
in. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
whoa, and they
Mm-hmm.
come back
Mm-hmm.
and they have so much fun. And when especially when it's like a bunch of females and they haven't been around each other for a while, and it's like, wow, you know, you just
Yeah.
see at the end their faces just lit up like, oh girl,
Mm-hmm.
that was so much fun. Da, da, da. So yeah, we like to have different activities for them also.
I love that. I love it. And so you have several cruises that are coming up,
Yes.
and with 9 minutes left
Mhm.
on the clock, I want to talk about one that we're going on with you. So let's
Yes.
talk about that really quick. I want to share with the audience a quick little short that was done. And of course, we're going to be updating everything as we get more information. But of course, Kesa
Mhm.
is our consultant for Brownstone Worldwide and what we have coming up in July of 2024. Let me go ahead and share this with you really quick.
Get ready for the Brownstone Worldwide Neighbors Retreat 2024 on Celebrity Cruises. Pack your bags and hang out with us. The link is in your bio for those all-inclusive rooms.
That really quick. The information has changed, but let's talk about the Brownstone Worldwide's Neighbors Retreat. Where are we going? What are we traveling on?
Mm.
Where are we leaving out of? Let's talk about all of that, shall we?
Yes. So we are traveling on the Celebrity Cruise Line's newest and latest ship, the Beyond, the newest baby
Mm.
on the block.
Ooh.
So yeah, they did a switch up on the itineraries and the ships, and they brought that
Mhm.
bad boy from Europe. And we are fortunate to be on that, leaving out of Fort
I
Lauderdale on
love it.
July 21st.
Mhm.
So when I say it is luxury to the it is
I've seen
luxury
the
and
pictures. I've seen the
beautiful.
video.
It is beautiful. We're
I
talking
love it.
fine dining. So if you think
Mhm.
about like how much you spend on a nice restaurant
Yeah.
and when you're drinking and such,
Mhm.
and this is all inclusive. So the package price that we have, it includes the classic beverage package, includes the
Mhm.
Wi-Fi, it includes
Mhm.
the gratuities. So if
Mm.
I mean, it's 7 days, no cooking, no cleaning, and someone waiting on you. Yeah.
That's all I got.
So we're going to Cozumel. We're going to the Cayman
Mhm.
Islands.
Mhm.
We're going to Bimini, the Bahamas, which is celebrities' private island. And did I say no cooking and cleaning? I'm
No
just
cooking and cleaning, she said, y'all. None.
just
None, none, none. I love
yeah,
it.
yeah. And we have some fun activities planned while you're there. And the you're going to meet the neighbors in the neighborhood as well.
Yes. So we're going to have some fun. So yes, you are going to get an opportunity to meet the neighbors. And for those of you all who are not aware, and you're probably new to the Brownstone, one thing that you need to know is that everything is centered around a block, a neighborhood, the
Mhm.
place where you knew everybody. You knew the lady down the street that sold the candy outside of her house to supplement her social security check. She was also the town watchman, right? You also
Mhm.
knew everybody's dad or their mom. You knew where everybody went to school. You knew the corner store. Everybody in the community you patronized in one way or another. And that's who we are here at Brownstone Worldwide. And so when we talk about our neighbors are the contributors to Brownstone Worldwide overall. So Kesa's a neighbor because she's one of the contributors. She's supporting what we're doing with the Brownstone Neighbors Retreat, right? But we also have our air personalities like Leanne Dulce of Wake Up Happy Sis and Dr. Michelle Josie of Numbers Don't Lie. And we also have Coach Jackie Vasquez, who is the host of WAP, Wealth, Assets, and Prosperity. We have Cullen of Cullen's Corner, DiCarlo of Ear Hustling Radio, and we have DJ Tony Sanchez of Eye of the Storm. Those are just a few of our neighbors that are part of the Brownstone Podcast Network. Then we also have our contributing writers for Brownstone Living Magazine, and also some of our creative crew like Kevin Hartley, and we also have Lamont Belton, who's a part of our team as well. Those are just a few of the folks that you're going to get an opportunity to meet. We're excited about that. Listen, we are constantly being inundated with what's more information about the cruise? What's more information about the cruise? What can you tell us? What can you tell us? So, I got questions. Let me pull them up. And this is a really easy one. This question actually came from one of our air personalities, and I said that when I spoke with you, I was going to absolutely ask. Because guys, the link is already up and available. I will be sharing that information with you all on all of our platforms, and it's also available for the past 3 months now. It's also 2 months. It's also available in Brownstone Living Magazine. So the biggest question that I have received so far is, hang on just a second, I'm scrolling to it. I feel insane because this person has been super adamant about it. How, number one, do we pay for everything up front, or do we have payment options? That's been the biggest one. Now, I know that we talked about that previously in the show, but do payment options, are they a part of this particular cruise? Yeah.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
It is $125 down, and then within 30 days, you have to pay $250 additional per person for the cabin to secure your cabin space. And then afterwards, you have flexible payments that can be spread out over 10 payments. And then you can set your date and the amount that you want to pay. Just know that it will, the calculator for Celebrity Cruise Line will auto adjust the payments for you.
I love it. See, problem solved. Did y'all hear that? I just want you all to know that there are payment options that are absolutely available for everyone to enjoy. And the other question that I've been getting a lot of, and I think that that's something that we're going to have to just work out behind the scenes. Who coming to sing for us? Who coming to perform for us? Who going to be on the ones and twos? Well, okay, it's a year out. Give it, breathe. So those are things that we're working on. Yes, do the woosah. Do the woosah. As soon as we know and we get more information, we are absolutely going to be sharing that with you guys. And Kesa, are you joining us?
Yes, I will definitely be joining you all. I want to make sure everything flows and we have everything on track to go very smoothly for everyone involved. Yes.
Awesome. So guys, this is going to be a great time also, because what I do know is that we're also doing one of our recordings on the ship. So we're really excited about that. I do know that we have a meet and greet that's actually on the ship itself. And is that right? Am I missing something?
Yeah.
And then,
yes, there is one, and it is in a beautiful space. Oh my gosh,
man! Oh, listen, I have no other words except I'm excited. I can't wait. You're going to come out and hang out with us once again here on our Lunch and Learn. The closer that we get, we're going to start spending more time with Kesa, y'all, so we can get you guys excited, answer any questions that you may have, and get support from our consultant itself. But here's the thing. What I want you all to also know is that her expertise is bar none. So if you need anything, y'all just need to go on ahead and hit her up at Your Group Escapes so that you can get your vacation, your trip, your birthday, whatever it is that you want to have. She can absolutely help and support you with that by going directly over to her website. Have I missed anything?
No, you have not, Paulette. We do have a limited sales offer because we do have limited cabins. We do have limited cabins.
Yes.
And then we do have a limited sales offer for those people that are, they want to make sure they have that space. So we have a special pricing that's on the site right now. So make sure you are able to get in before that expiration date, so you can get that lower amount. So we were able to
Absolutely.
negotiate some things and leverage our relationships for you.
I like the way you put that. I love it. I love it. I love it. You guys, Kesa, I want to thank you, first of all, for taking time out of your busy day to come and hang out with us, because this is a lot, preparing for things like this. And we're not your only client. And so I really appreciate you for taking time out to explain what you do, how you do it, and how you support people on making memorable experiences that you can't throw in the back of your closet. So I'm excited, and we're going to come back and we're going to talk more about this and maybe a month or so or whatever, but definitely reach out to Kesa Johnson and follow her at yourgroupescapes.com to get more information. Is there anything else that you want to let everyone know about what it is that you offer before we wrap?
Is that we do have a lot of upcoming trips. We do have a wonderful planned trip for Barbados in January, MLK weekend. We always do our Capricorn Beach Bash because I'm a Capricorn, of course.
Okay.
And then we have an awesome Los Cabos trip that's coming up next May as well. And then on our site, there are some very exclusive reduced rate trips for cruises that you can take advantage of also, that hey, we try to help our audience make sure they have some special perks.
Awesome.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Kesa, thank you so much for joining us today. You guys head on over to yourgroupescapes.com to get more information about other experiences that you can create for yourself, your friends, and your family with Kesa. And don't forget, you guys, for more information, you're going to head over to brownstoneworldwide.com /retreat. You guys, thank you so much for hanging out with us once again for your Lunch and Learn Hour. And we'll see you on the next edition of the Lunch and Learn Hour right here on KCCRthebrownstone.com. We also have brownstoneworldwide.com and Brownstone Living magazine. Remember this, 3 things that I always like to tell every single one of you before we wrap. 1, love your life. It is the only one that you have. 2, live your life to the fullest and embrace everything that is your life, because one day you're not going to be here. You might as well enjoy it with your group escapes, possibly, right? And lastly, breathe through every single moment. I will see you all on the next edition of the Lunch and Learn Hour.